So we're here in the big time, Season 3, the La Liga awaits Real Oviedo. We've made plenty of signings over summer. I think we're good enough to stay up, but of course, thinking we're good enough to stay up isn't actually staying up. We have to prove it. So we have to go into all of these games now and really try and fight for survival and points in every single game. Let's get on with it. Hello and welcome back to The Real Deal. Season 3 starts, La Liga is here. Today we've got the first game of the new La Liga season. We're against Levante at home as well, which is a really important game for us, so I'm really looking forward to it. This is the first La Liga game since the 2000-2001 season, which is absolutely incredible. So a long time Oviedo haven't been in the top flight, but we're finally back there and we're looking for our first 3 points in a good nearly 20 years. Interestingly, Levante finished 14th last season, so I think this game is a real winnable game, especially at home. So we've really got to give it all in this game to try and pick up the 3 points, because I think this is a game that we could really win. However, we'll get to the game in a little bit. First of all, we're going to take you through all the transfers that have gone on throughout summer, and there's been quite a lot. Some of them you might not be too happy with, but they've happened, so there we go. First of all, we'll look at our released players, and I think the first bit that you might be angry about is that Pucko has gone. He's left the club. We wanted him to sign a new contract, but he just wanted so much money, and I just didn't really feel like it was justified enough for him to come in and we'll have that much money. So he's gone. A few of the youngsters that I've brought in, Dylan's gone. Yosin has gone. He was a club youngster, to be fair. Felix has gone. Asa Gomez has gone, but they just weren't ever going to cut the mustard really at this level. They weren't going to be good enough, so they've all gone. So they're the real sort of big names that have gone. Folch gone as well, but again, a lot of them are declining. A lot of them were old, not really fitting the mould of a squad. So either they weren't good enough or they were too old, basically. Right, players that we've sold, and I think you'll be cross with this one, but we have sold Aaron to Lugo for 1.7 million. Now, he has been a star player for us the past 2 seasons. However, if we look at him, he is 30 years old now, so he doesn't really fit the model of the club. Scout report wise, he's not actually looking that good anymore. He's only about 3-star current ability, and we want a bit more than that this season. And we did get in a bit of an argument because he wanted a new contract, and I was like, well, you've got 2 years left on your contract. And he was like, no, I want a new contract. So we sold him. Could not have that negativity around the squad, so he has gone, I'm afraid. Carlos Hernandez went on a free, as you know already. And the big name there is Valentini. He's gone to Cordoba for £375,000. So a few transfers there. We've made 2.1 million and we have spent 5.75 million on some players. So let's take you through some of these. We knew about Berke Öz. I've told you about him last season, the goalkeeper that come in from some Turkish side. Altınordu, I think is perhaps how you say it, from a Turkish first division, so a second division there in Turkey. But he's a decent goalkeeper, 19 years old. 4-star current ability, 5-star potential, got some fantastic stats. I think he could be a real dark horse, one of the key players this season for us. Already got a cap for Turkey as well. He's going to be absolutely incredible, I reckon, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Next up, no surprise, Anthony Lozano comes in on a free after his contract at Barcelona expired at the end of the season. Now, he's a little bit old, 26 years old, sort of breaks the mould of what I'm trying to do at the club, but I couldn't not have him. He's been an absolutely integral part of the club the past 2 seasons. It's 10 goals in his first season, 27 league goals in that last season, 31 goals in total. He's the one that propelled us to the title in the end. So we had to get him back, and on the opportunity we had, I couldn't turn it down. Borja Fernandez comes up next. Central midfielder, came in from Vigo on a free transfer after he was let go at the end of his contract. 24 years old, so again, slightly a bit too old for what I was actually trying to look for, but it turned out to be a little bit hard to find young players who were good enough and wanted to play for us in this division. So 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential, can still improve a little bit, which is decent. Sort of plays more as a Carrillo or box-to-box sort of midfielder. So I'm kind of looking to him to sort of be that man. Got loads of 10 stats, which is quite interesting, but a lot of them are pretty decent stats, especially where they matter. So I think he could be a decent addition to this year's squad if he plays well. Next up, Aitor Cantalapiedra, which I feel is too complicated to say. So I'm going to set his nickname to something else. Aitor Cantalapiedra. Cantal what your name is. Can't tell what your name is. I reckon that's a decent nickname. It might be a bit of a mouthful when he scores goals. Can't tell what your name is scores, but you know, we'll deal with it. 23 years old, inside forward on that right hand side of the pitch. Looked kind of decent, to be fair. is happy to be a rotation player, which he may end up being, I don't know. Came in from Seville on a transfer after he didn't really break into their first side, but did break into the B team. Did alright for them, I suppose, in the past 2 seasons he's been there. 13 goals, 6 assists, 6 goals, 6 assists. He looks decent in the division below us, so I think he can make that step up, but we'll have to make sure and actually see if he can do. On the other side of the pitch, for £650,000, Inigo Cordoba comes in from Athletic Bilbao. Left-sided winger, 22 years old, 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. So he's the real star for the future, I think. As he comes in as a winger, has got some good stats on him. Crossing could be a bit better. That will only improve though. 14 is pretty good for 22 years old. So just technique. As you can see from his stats, didn't break into the Athletic Bilbao team too much. But has played top division football, which is what we're looking for. So I'm excited for that. We've actually got players now who have got top division caps, which I think is really important for us, especially at this level when we're just coming into the top division. We're going to need that kind of experience of this league, even if it is only 8 caps. The first £1 million man that I have brought in, Alex Febas, comes in from Real Madrid. Another central midfielder, 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential, 23 years old. As I say, came in from Real Madrid. Has got some good leadership skills there, which I'm looking forward to using. I've made him the vice captain this season with a move to make him like the full captain at some point. He's got some really good leadership, some good flair and things like that, which I really like. Stats where they matter are really good, but across the board he is pretty solid, I've got to say. Didn't break into the Real Madrid squad, obviously, but has played loads of games for the B team and things like that. Was probably too good for the B team in the second division B1, so that's the division below that we were in. So I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the squad, and I think he could really be a pivotal player for us. £555,000 spent on Nicholas Dorsch from Bayern Munich. Central defensive midfielder, 3.5-star current ability, but 5-star potential, which I think is very, very good. The first 5-star potential player we've brought in, actually. He came up on a scout report one day, and he looked like the real deal, so we thought we'd sign him for the real deal. Stats could improve a little bit, but of course, only 21 years old, they're only ever going to improve. Played a lot for Bayern Munich too. I say a lot, actually. Not a massive amount, only made 40 caps for them. But at least he's got the first team football ready for him. Played very, very well last season in the games that he did play. So I think he's ready to make that step up. He's not ready to make that step up, is he? It's a big difference, Bayern Munich 2 to La Liga, but I think he can make that step up. And I'm going to put a lot of confidence in him this season as my number 1 CDM. Next up, 2 players on loan, which looked like quite good deals on paper, but turned out to be not quite so good when we actually came in the scout reports. Turned out to be a little bit off. First up, Fikio Tomori, who is only famous for scoring an own goal against Lincoln City in the FA Cup when we beat Brighton 3-1. Scored a quite an impressive own goal, actually, I've got to say. But he comes in as central defender or left back, but probably won't play too much. He's only 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. So don't expect to see him too much. He was a bit of a mistake, actually, bringing him in. Again, almost another mistake here with Danny Vivian as well. Centre-back coming in from Bilbao. Again, 2.5-star current ability. 5-star potential is decent, but I think we're paying his wages as well, actually, which is maybe we just get rid of Tomori. But they're both pretty rubbish, actually, as it turns out. We may get rid of their loans before the transfer window ends. But next up, the biggest transfer we've made, the record transfer of Oviedo, 2.3 million for George from Athletic Pamplona Osasuna. Was at Tenerife before then. 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential. Scout said he had slightly better potential, which is why I paid so much for him, and I'm paying him so much per week as well. But 22 years old, I think he's a decent player. He's going to be our star centre-back this season. I think he can do pretty well. As I say, had a decent time at Tenerife, then moved to Osasuna for last season, and we bought him off them. Played alright for them last year, I've got to say, but I think he's good enough for the first division, and I was told by some of the people that he was pretty decent. So I think he's going to be a good transfer. It just depends how he sort of gels with the rest of the squad, I think. And finally, Nikola Katic comes in from Slavian Belupo for £1.2 million. 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential again. Some of these scout reports said they had 5-star potential, and they actually arrived and they're only 4-star potential. This was one of those guys, but I still think we've got him on a pretty decent deal for 1.2 million there. Can play anywhere across the back line or CDM as well, so he's quite versatile. Looking forward to that. Where they matter, the stats are pretty decent, although his marking could be better, I think. We'll have to work on that a little bit. Has played a lot of football in Croatia, over 100 caps in Croatia, which is pretty good. So he's ready and raring to go with first team football. Already made a cap, actually, apparently for them this season. Played very well, 8.5 rating. So obviously a decent player. If he carries on getting 8.5s every game, he'll be an absolutely incredible signing. And they are all the transfers so far. There's still a bit of room in the squad to add some more players. Also more if we get rid of Vivian and Tomori, which we may do at some point because they're not that good. So we're looking to bring in a few more players as well, just to bolster the squad a little bit. but the transfer window doesn't end for another week or so, so we've got a little bit of time to do that still. Right, on to today's game then. We are playing the 4-3-3 or the 4-1-2-3 diamond, really what we're going to call it. We're playing this today because I think today's game against Levante is winnable. Most of this season we're going to be playing probably a sort of 5 at the back system, 3 midfielders, probably playing that most of the season, but today we're going to be going with this formation instead because I just think we can get the win today, and I feel like this is slightly more attacking and a bit more well suited to us scoring goals. So Burke makes his debut in goal today with Varela, George, Katic and Johannesson at the back line. So almost a new back line, 2 new centre backs, but the wing backs and full backs staying the same. New look midfield in Dorsch, Febas and Borja Fernandez. Cordoba and Cantel, what your name is, come in. Oh, Cantel, what your name is. What a nickname. Cordoba and Cantel, what your name is, come into the midfield there on the wings, and Lozano starts up front, hoping to bag another 27 league goals like he did last season. Right. The first team talk of the La Liga season, passionately. Let's give the fans something to cheer about tonight. Diego Johannesson looks motivated. No one else particularly does. Listen passionately. Listen, okay. That's why I kept Diego Johannesson. You know, I did try to sign several right backs, but no one ever wanted to join us. So he's starting again, but he's proven why, because he looks motivated all the time. Right, kickoff's upon us then. We've just taken it, and I'm looking forward to this game. We'll get rid of latest scores, because we don't want that. We'll get match facts back up in a second. Where is it? I should probably watch the game first though, as Johannesson puts the ball into Lozano, who just puts it wide. Match stats are, I think they're just back up there. We'll see in a second. But that was a decent little chance. There was the first chance of the game. Our first shot just wide of the post, but it was a little decent move there, which I'm looking forward to seeing more of as we try to come forward again now. Borja Fernandez on the ball into Cantel, what your name is, Lozano into Cordoba. We could have opened the scoring there. We look like we're the better side so far of his opening 10 minutes or so. Corner comes in, Febas puts it in, but it's cleared only as far as Dorsch, who can put it back into the mix. I think it was a shot actually in the end. Wasn't a very good one. That's why he's CDM as a ball-winning midfielder. He's not meant to get up the pitch and shoot like that. Free kick now for Levante as they try and come forward now to show that they are a decent Liga side and they won't be beaten by a newly promoted side. They had their first shot, but it's inches wide apparently, but good move from them. Right, how do you think we are going to do this season? Please let me know in the comments. I know I've been a bit rubbish with comments recently. I do apologise. I have been a bit rubbish with comments recently, but I'll get back to actually replying to them all properly this time because, I mean, it's been rubbish on my part. I do apologise. But do let me know what you think is going to happen this season in the comment section. Personally, I think we'll be in a real relegation battle, but I think we should have enough about ourselves to avoid it, as Lozano's been put forward. His shot was straight at the goalkeeper, though. If he put it either side of the goalkeeper, we would have been 1-0 up and nowhere near the relegation zone in this first episode. But I think over the course of a season, we will be in a relegation battle. Like I said, I think we should be, on paper, strong enough. We've got like a decent 3.5-star current ability squad, basically. I mean, Levante have just scored there. I was trying to talk and then burped a little bit, which is a bit embarrassing. I don't know if I've left that in the video or not. If I have done, then pardon me, because that was very rude of me. But Levante have just scored a goal, which isn't the best. Right, throw in for Levante now as they try and come forward to score a second goal of the game, which I feel is against the run of play a little bit. I'm not happy with the way they just scored that second goal either. Burke, you were meant to come in here and be a star goalkeeper. You were meant to replace Juan Carlos, who really made a lot of mistakes, I think, but already he's conceded 2 goals, so not the best on his debut. Here comes number 3. It nearly was number 3. I think we had the wind taken out of our sails there. We started off pretty positively. Now Levante coming back into it. We can always switch up to a diamond in the second half, maybe, if that maybe makes a bit more sense. We've still got Rado Thomas, obviously. He signed a new contract. He forced me to make him sign a new contract, else he was going to start a riot and leave the club and things like that. And I didn't want to deal with that, so he signed a new contract on a lot of money as well, which is a little bit annoying. But if he's as good as he was last season, I don't really mind. This first half, though, I can't really make sense of it. Like, we've played pretty evenly with Levante, but our players haven't played as well as their players. They've got some decent ratings, whereas our ratings are a bit down, I've got to say. I don't like that. And what did we learn last season? We learned that diamonds are forever and that triangles are for losers. So we're going to go back to the diamond, I think. So Lozano will be up front, of course. And I feel like we're going to have to take off both wingers, actually. De Thomas can come on as a striker. Febas can play attacking midfield, I believe. So he can sort of move up there. And Sunset will come on in central midfielders. So 2 changes at half-time. Could be a little bit risky. We may take Katic off later on as well, although we haven't really got anyone amazing to bring on for him. But we'll make that change. And I think we do need to look for a few more transfers just to bolster the squad before the window ends at the end of the week. Don't worry, I've got a list. I've got a very, very big list actually that I was sent by a subscriber. So thank you very much to Slenderman for sending me all that stuff. That was fantastic. Unfortunately, I'd already played like most of pre-season when he sent it to me, which is my fault. I should have... I mean, it's my fault for not really paying attention to the comments. That was what it was. If I'd looked at the comments like a day earlier, I would have had so much more time to look at this stuff. So, I need to get better on the comments. I was good, and then I don't know, this past 2 weeks or so, I've slipped off a lot of stuff, really. I need to be more switched on again. So, we'll get back to everything. This new season is new season, new me. That's what this is. However, we do need to address the issue that Levante are coming forward down the right-hand side of the pitch. The cross comes in, and it's nearly another third goal for Levante. Not another third goal. They can't get another third goal, but nearly another chance for them to score. It's frustrating as well how they've had 3 shots on target and 2 of them have gone in the back of the net. And actually, we have had a few more shots and stuff now. We are looking a little bit stronger in the second half, I think, with the changes that we've made. Another chance for Levante now, although Febas makes the interception. Now Dorsch can sort of distribute things a little bit. Raúl Thomas on the ball, linking up with his old strike partner Lozano, who races forward now. He puts out to Johannesson, who can put a decent cross, and Lozano on his head in the back of the net. The keeper got a touch to it, I think, but he only could palm it in the back of the net. We're back in this game now. It is 2-1. There's 15 minutes to go. We're going to go attacking now. We're really, really doing much better in the second half. I think we can grab an equaliser tactics-wise. Who can come on? Who's not playing particularly well? I mean, neither of the central defenders are playing well, but Katic is going to come off. Williams is going to come on instead. I know it's a change at the back, which is a little bit risky. We should be making changes up front maybe if we want to be scoring goals, but I think his sort of stability and he knows the squad and things like that, he may be able to help us out a little bit more. We're going to say push forward for these last 10 minutes. I really think we can grab an equaliser. We're on 16 shots now. We have dominated this second half. We deserve more than this than a 2-1 loss. If we lose 2-1 now, Levante have had a real lucky day, I've got to say. Oh, I just don't know if we're going to do it, though. 4 minutes of added time. Let's go to overload. Let's say push forward again. The clock's ticking down. Will this come back to haunt us at the end of the season? I really think we should have won this game. We're the much better side. The much better side. 2 clear-cut chances as well. Unfortunately, it's 2-1 on the day to Levante. And this is La Liga. This is the challenge that we've got. This is the game that we really thought was winnable. We've played better as well. But I think it's similar to last season where we just seem to miss 1 too many chances, and it may come back to bite us later on. Well, I can't fault the performances out there. It was just one of those days. We were the better side. We were just unlucky. I've got to say, it gives me reason to be positive coming into the next few fixtures. Who have we got coming up then? 26,000 people at that game. That was pretty decent. We've got Real San Sebastian, Real Sociedad, that is, Espanyol, Lugo, which is a very, very must-win game. Seville, Getafe, Coruña, Malaga, Real Zaragoza. Some big games, to be fair. No big boys until Atletico Madrid there. Then there's Barcelona. I reckon next episode then, we do Deportivo La Coruña as their bottom of the table right now. And we do Malaga because Malaga are my team. So I think next episode, Coruña and Malaga. I say Malaga are my team. They're my second team, of course. I'd never say they're my team because Lincoln are my team. Right, well, thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it and you like our new signings. Let me know what you think of them and let me know how you think this season is going to go. If you enjoyed today's video, then make sure you do drop a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I will see you next time for some more Real Deal action.